all of us, like we have a responsibility. And like, you know, when you think about nature, it's like there's just the level of giving, like selfless giving that happens it's just nonstop, and it's just giving, and we're just taking and just taking and taking and taking, and it's so extractive. And then in business, you're like, you want to make it scarce because then it's like good, because then people want, you know, want it more. And it's like, versus like, there's so much abundance of everything. There's just like so many seats at the table. Like women, you don't have to fucking claw each other for the seat at the table. Like there's so much room here for everyone. Like stop.
Yeah.
When I became an entrepreneur, I was like, their service, like give back needs to be woven into the business. It's not like a marketing afterthought. It's like I couldn't create anything if it wasn't like truly like had some social impact element to it.
I'm so honored. Truly. I have a bunch of THINX underwear in my drawers.
Yes.
Like, I've been following your journey forever. You're a true innovator and a world changer. And I'm so excited about this beautiful thing you're about to launch in the world. But before we get into it, Miki, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I love your energy.
Oh, I love
your
yours.
self-assuredness.
I'm a Leo.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome.
Thank you. I want to ask you, babe, because you really, in many ways, in so many ways, in all the ways, epitomize what it means to be a spiritual hustler. So my first question for you is, what are you currently spiritually hustling for?
Well, I think since I had my son, HIRO, I think so much of your purview of the world shifts of like, oh, like I really am considering like what world am I leaving behind? Like what world do I want to introduce to the next generation? And then like one step further and one rung further, like how is nature supporting that? Like, and how are we creating an ecosystem that's so sturdy and so robust and so connected that it can hold the individuals of our children, each other, ourselves,
future generations.
And I think that, you know, it's like you go from such a me world, because when we're young, we know it all. We think we're, you know, and then as we get older, there's like this shift to like an ecosystem led approach, which is like, is everyone okay? How's everyone doing in the ecosystem? How is how is nature doing? How are the community doing? How's my company doing? And I think if the ecosystem is solid, then it does, the individual is solid too, versus like, I'm working on myself. I'm solid, but the ecosystem is falling apart. It's just going to create a crumbly ground that you're just not going to be strong for. So I think like the idea of like, what am I spiritually hustling right now is like the idea of an ecosystem led world.
Yeah.
It's like an ecosystem focused world. And so I think for me, like how that shows up in the world is creating my next, which is HIRO, named after my son.
I love your son, by the way. I've seen him on Instagram. There's a full on starseed light work. He's amazing. Well, you guys are amazing. So of course you procreated and made this beautiful human. It's not of this earth.
He is amazing. And, you know, since he was born, we just realized the insane amounts of waste that comes with creating a child or a human into the world. You know, even when you go to lunch, like the lunch trash that all of that, each person, each meal, it's just like that takes hundreds of years to break down in a landfill. And we don't even consider a single, like a plastic bag, like its lifespan is 15 minutes, and it takes hundreds of years to break down in a landfill. It's just like, when you think about it, is insane. And when I kind of looked at, you know, the number one household plastic waste item, which is a baby diaper, it's, you know, the number 3 waste item in a landfill. There's 6,000 per baby that the baby goes through every year, and every diaper takes 400 to 500 years to break down in a landfill. The very first disposable diaper is still in a landfill somewhere today. You know, and like the stat that you can visualize it, it's like the number of diapers that end up in a landfill every year could circle the earth 33 times per year. And so there's such a wow to that.
Yes.
And as a new parent, you're just like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. You're like, you know, so excited for like this new world and this new baby. And then you're just entering into this world of waste. And I think like what I'm, you know, hustling for, and I think it's so funny because I'm really moving, like the word hustle is like, it, you know, I'm interested in launching a company, not from the hustle,
yes,
but from a prayer, you know.
Beautiful.
And so it's a different approach. which is why this is an interesting conversation at all, because how do those two collide? It's a very interesting thing. So anyway, so HIRO we've created the world's first diaper that is both high performing, but also breaks down with the help of our plastic eating fungi. So it's sort of like another step back, is like when you think about nature in, for hundreds of millions of years, when trees were falling down and they would die, the only being that can break them down and turn them back into nature is certain types of decomposer fungi.
Yeah.
And it turns out the carbon backbone of these fungi are very similar. The carbon backbone of these trees are very similar to the carbon backbone of plastic. So you can actually take these fungi that have been breaking down trees for hundreds of millions of years and harness them to break down plastic as well.
How did you make that connection? Like, how did you figure that out?
Yeah, my son HIRO gave me the answer. I was sort of staring at my window just like this, looking at a tree, just thinking like how breast milk is liquid gold and therefore baby poop must be fertilizer gold. And while I was like, wow, what could the baby poop fertilize to potentially break down the plastic maybe of the diaper? And as I was asking myself this question, my son, when he was 2, came running into my room, pointed to a book in my nightstand. And then I like looked at this book. Anyways, it wasn't supposed to be there, but of course it was. And on page 31, it says there are certain types of fungi that can break down plastic in the book. It was like a spirit-led moment.
By your oracle son, who led you there.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And so that's why the company's named after him, because it was inspired by him. And, it really is a project about communing with nature. It's really being in partnership with mycelium, the oldest being in the world. And they need to feel trust.
Yes,
it's true. And it's like, we can be like, woo, but it's true.
Absolutely.
And when we talk with the indigenous people, when we're working with, we're launching on April 3rd, a global prayer for our launch. And we're bringing together top indigenous leaders from around the world, from the, Minari, the head of the Sapper Nation of the Amazon rainforest, to Lynn Twist, who started the Pachamama Alliance, to Laura, the head of the Sami tribe of the north, to, Sadhvi Ji and Puja Swami Ji from the Parmartinikitan ashram in Rishikesh, India. Like, and like a Mayan grandmother, like a Lakota tribe leader, like they're all coming to like bring forth this like deep prayer with Fortune 500 executives to show that there is a future where nature, humanity, and innovation can come together. Like there really is that future.
I just want to say my last question. My last question of every podcast I ask is just not worth skipping to the end, but I always ask the final question: what does it mean to you to be a co-creator of the new earth? And babe, you just described it. Like that's the new earth that I'm here to co-create. And I think it really does come home to our home, Gaia, and just remembering our responsibility for her highest code, which is reciprocity, and to really honor her in the work that we do, especially as business leaders. So profound. I'm so excited for you. I see the tears. It's amazing. Like truly. Thank you. Thank you. I want to talk about all the things you just, like the product and your story as a business owner, but I really truly want, for the purposes of illuminating my community, to really talk about the epidemic of plastic. I think it's important for them to understand what it's really doing to our bodies, what it's doing to the planet. I see images of these landfills. I don't understand how it gets into our oceans and the future that we're up against if we, let me hold your hand again.
I'm very underslept, but
it's beautiful. Yeah. And it's that important. And the tears are so worthy and held and honored.
Yeah.
I checked out, your website, and there was a beautiful video that you did with your partner. And there's something like, in the year 2050, if we don't fix this, there'll be more plastic in our oceans than fish. Can you illuminate me how we've gotten here?
Yeah.
Because we're talking about how we fix it and what we're going to do about it. But I think it's important to look around and take some responsibility and know the part we play.
Yeah. Like I feel like such a deep sense of like personal responsibility, like all of us, like we have a responsibility. And like, when you think about nature, it's like there's just the level of giving, like selfless giving that happens like like it's just nonstop, and it's just giving, and we're just taking and just taking and taking and taking, and it's so extractive and so unfair, and it just feels like it's just so unconscious. And it's just like, and it stems so far back. It stems to the Neolithic times when like we were first hunter-gatherers. We were in deep community with nature. It was just what we needed. It was just like, the culture of enoughness. It's like we killed a thing, like we're all gonna share in that meal together for the next however long it takes. It doesn't matter. Like we're all in this together, like we're in full communion. But like the Neolithic times was like really when like sedentary life came and the patriarchy was formed during Neolithic times. And it was sort of like, this is like, men are also victims of patriarchy too. It's like we all are, and it's a few short, group of people who decided like, this is my land, and I'm going to, and I need my wife and my offspring and my territory and my food. And it just became so my oriented versus like nothing belongs to us. We're all stewards of this great place. We're all going to become dirt anyway. So like, what are we pretending, And the illusion began in like during the Neolithic times. Yeah. It's just like, it's just so extractive. It's so painful. And like,
it is painful.
The level of greed, is so insane. And it came from that feeling of like deep, like scarcity.
Yes.
And it's like, and then in business, you're like, you want to make it scarce because then it's like good, because then people want it more. And it's like, versus like, there's so much abundance of everything. There's just like so many seats at the table. Like women, you don't have to fucking claw each other for the seat at the table. Like there's so much room here for everyone. Like stop.
Yeah.
And it's like, like I've been like, anticipating this launch, and it's like, there's like pregame butterflies, it's like, it's been 4.5 years of like deep, like, like just cultivating. And now it's like about to launch, and we're, like, I'm like sleepless, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like, there's a few reasons why I'm sleepless, but one of them really is this like, I wake up at the middle of the night just being like, well, fucking people care. Like, will they care? Like enough.
My
like,
audience will care.
Yeah.
They're listening and they care.
Yeah. And so like, it always comes before I launch anything. Cause it's like, you're like, I don't want to get ready for battle. Like, this is not this time. This is like, I'm just opening my arms in like full surrender. Like, it's a different way. And it's like, it's so vulnerable, it's so different. Cause usually I'm just, like, let's fucking go energy. And this one is like, just like, I'm here, and like what will come is going to come. And it's like, there's still like,
yeah, of course,
like a lot of stuff coming up.
Sure, of course.
I don't cry this much at all ever. It's just really,
I really believe this is why Gaia called us here. Humanity has been so asleep. I talk a lot about the patriarchy on the show. I'm so grateful you broke it down and expressed it the way you just did, because I believe we've all incarnated here at this current time in humanity on purpose to find each other, because we're playing an eternal game. Really, we are. Yeah. And the way that we really shift the frequency here into more harmonic 5D consciousness, as I define it, is playing the team game.
Yeah.
And it's finding each other that are here to help. We've been waiting for this moment, Miki. Yeah. Your business is right on time. These last 4 years that you were marinating and germinating and seeding this vision that is now ready for the world to receive, because people are waking up, and it's people like you and me who've been on this train for a while, who've been like saying, look, it's here. It's about to come. It's already coming. We all have to link arms and play this game together. And I just really hold so much trust that the world is really, really like desperate actually for the medicine that you're about to bring with this business. I truly know that to be true. I was just having this conversation with another podcast guest last week, that there's going to be this massive awakening in like 2026. Yeah. And it's going to be very disruptive and jarring for people who have not yet necessarily been initiated into this understanding of like what's really happening here. And for those of us that have sort of been waiting like front row, that this is our moment to really help humanity remember, because it's a slumber. It's not that people are innately
just
forgetting, you know? And so this business feels just like a true representation and manifestation of this remembrance.
I think a lot of times, like also like, you know, I've been like, proverbially burned for witchcraft too, you know, like we've been there, like the gentle giants have been there, you know, have been through like the dark night of the soul from like stuff that's just said that you're just like, whoa, like this is like the old way that's just wanting to like suppress the gentle next way. And gentle, I mean, I don't mean gentle, the soft power way.
I want to talk about that.
And yeah, soft power isn't just gentle, it's fierce too when it needs to be. And
yes.
It's disruptive, it shakes things up. And also there's this like deep tenderness on the inside. I think it's so important to have both. I think that's what's interesting. Like spiritual hustler, it has both. It's got like the gentle, and it's got the soft, but it's got the power, and it's got the go. It's the feminine, masculine.
Exactly.
And it's beautiful to like own both and like really proudly own both. It's not like I'm not masculine. It's like, no, there is strong masculine inside of me, and there's strong feminine inside of me. There's both. And the masculine allows us to move forward and take steps and take action. The feminine allows us to receive, to commune, to like soften, to take a breath.
Yes.
And so I think like for me, in this sort of pre-game moment before launch, it's like there's the anticipation of like, all of the things. It's like so much is coming up of just like beyond just will people care, but it's also like my own, like it's another coming out party for my people are like I don't, there's just a lot that's coming up around like, I've been, like I said, I've had a really, stuff that's been said that has been so untrue and so painful and so hard. And you don't know if like, I don't, it's just like, there's just a lot there that,
I've watched your journey, and it's so vulnerable to launch a dream. I fully relate. There's nothing quite like it. It's important to have your people. And it's important to have your guides. And you've built really exciting, totally disruptive businesses. It's like the thing you do. And I mean, I'm a consumer of your products, and they've changed the conversation. They've changed the culture. And, I want to talk about, I'm curious to know, were you always like this mission, spirit-led, visionary? Like, what were you? Were you always like, who were you before this Miki Agrawal that we all know? Were you always like, I know you have a twin sister, and both of you have like these codes, but what was that about?
I mean, I think like, it's like we've been brought up, half Indian, half Japanese, growing up in French Montreal, to like question everything, and that we had deep permission to question everything, that there was no like one perspective. There was always like many perspectives, around answering a problem. And, I went to India when I was 11 years old. My parents like literally saved up, and they took out a loan to take my family to India when we were 11. And it took them 10 years to pay off the loan.
Wow.
But it was like a really, really game-changing moment in my life when I went to India and like saw kids with like elephantitis on their feet, and they were dragging these huge feet along in like the train stations, and with just themselves begging for food. And I was just like, where are their parents? I kept asking my parents, like, mom and daddy, like, where are their mom and daddy? Like, where are their mom and daddy? And they're like, they're abandoned. Like they don't have one. And so like I brought out my twin sister, and we would like make bread and butter, like, and we pile up bread like this much, and we would just go and give it to these kids for like, like days and days. We would just be like, we just got to feed these kids. And so it was sort of like, I think it was like the moment where we were just like, wow, like we won the lottery of life.
Yes.
Like we could have picked any like ticket, and we could have been there or here, or no food and no family and no love and whatever.
I so feel that.
Yeah. And I think like it was like, if I really tune into like a transformational moment, was when our parents like made that decision to take us to India. And like I said, you know, it took them 10 years to pay off that loan. It was a big deal for them to think about doing that.
Yeah.
And they took us to India for 2.5 months, and then took us to Japan to visit my mom's side. And we got to see the world,
to see the perspective
for the first time, and just be like, wow, like, gosh, like we're so lucky. So when I became an entrepreneur, I was like, their service, like give back, needs to be woven into the business. It's not like a marketing afterthought. It's like I couldn't create anything if it wasn't like truly like had some social impact element to it. It just wouldn't. I would have been bored within 5 seconds. Like, and so it was sort of like, you know, with my restaurants, it was like serving local farms and creating local jobs for like local farmers. We created New York City's first gluten-free local farm-to-table pizza restaurant in New York City, which this year will be my 20-year anniversary.
Congrats.
Which is like, whoa.
It's huge.
Dates me. I started when I was 5. And THINX, you know, we've helped millions of girls go back to school, you know, by providing for every pair of underwear that we sold, THINX underwear, we funded the you know, this company. So basically we really were inspired by the Tom shoes model, you know, the buy one, give one. And like what Blake's intention was really beautiful. He was just like, these kids, they can't go to school without shoes on. I'm going to like make shoes, and every pair of shoes, I'm going to give a pair of shoes somebody in need. And what they didn't realize is by giving shoes away to local communities, it creates a welfare model. So those who are like working so hard to like sell shoes, now all of a sudden a bunch of free shoes are coming. What happens to that person's business?
Yeah.
It goes away.
Yeah.
And so they were actually like hurting local people who are like in earnest trying to make a living, and they're just doing these free shoe drops, and it wasn't serving local. So it created a welfare model. It didn't serve necessarily the local. So it was beautiful in thought, and it was the foundation that gave us so much inspiration to work off of.
Yeah.
But then we looked at the model and we were like, this model could be, you know, improved.
Yeah.
And so what we did was we looked for a local Ugandan company in Uganda that made washable cloth pads at an affordable price. And we said, for every pair of underwear sold, we will fund the company, the AfriPads in Uganda, that makes washable cloth pads. And then they would then create more local jobs, hire more local women to create the pads. And then it would subsidize the cost of the pads so local women could buy them at a cheaper price. And we also found that if people got free stuff, they would care for it less. But if they paid $2 a year for a bunch of pads, they would care for it more.
Yes.
You know? And so it actually empowered every person at every level. And so it was like a deep empowerment model and not a welfare model that we created after that.
Incredible.
Yeah. And so then we built from there with TUSHY as well.
I want to talk about TUSHY, but before we move on to TUSHY, I do want to double click into THINX for whatever it's worth, because as a consumer, on a micro level, like what you just expressed is so profound and so clearly the ripple effect that, you know, you've I think been put on this planet to create. But those underwear changed my life. And I'm not, I used to I hated my cycle. I felt like grossed out by it. I was like an inconvenience. It felt like cheap and commercial to use pads. And your underwear was like a total permission slip for me to embrace that part of my body. Like the free bleed. Like I fucking live for my THINX underwear.
Yes.
It's my favorite days of the month, to be honest. Like truly, I feel
it's
never
cleansing.
right. I've never felt more connected to my feminine than when I'm on my cycle. I'm bleeding on my moon. And that really didn't come online until I bought your product. And I treasure them.
When we started it, thank you for saying that, because it's like I never take that for granted. It's like it's always such a like I receive that. Good. Because like the intention of it was really not only to create a product that supported women, but that actually liberated women from the stigma and the taboo of a period, which creates human life for all. And we're here like putting our tampons in our sleeve and slicking away, pretending. And I'm like, are you like?
Yes.
No. I have my period, everyone. Go get me something for my warm water for my belly. You
100%.
massage my feet.
Mm-hmm.
You
to cancel all my meetings and
you
right.
handle, you know, it's like who everyone needs to take care of me right now.
Correct.
Because I'm the queen of my period.
Correct.
And so you should say thank you.
100%.
You know, and so right?
And it was executed so beautifully. Like
Yeah.
when you launched it, I remember your website and your branding and your social and just how you were so representative of the female body.
Yeah.
And like just our womanness. It was so alluring. I mean, before I knew you, I was a consumer. And then I followed your story as an entrepreneur because, you know, I'm one too. And I was like, this is a badass. And it did disrupt, change that conversation and allowed this taboo stigma to be so embraced and celebrated. And so that leads me to TUSHY because talk about stigma.
Well, just really quickly,
go
fun
ahead.
fact, the word taboo
stems
from the Polynesian root word tapwa, which means period.
Stop.
So the word, yes.
I didn't know
word
that.
Taboo means period. Like the most uncomfortable thing that you can possibly talk about is the thing that creates human life. It's like the cosmic joke of that.
That's
you know,
wild.
it's just,
I did not
it just
know
deserved to be broken. You know. Yeah, liberated. Yeah.
So I saw you come out with TUSHY whenever that was. I think you were Burning Man. And like, why? What? Where was that born from?
Yeah, well, so I'm half Japanese, half Indian. So both cultures are deep in bidet culture. Japan has like, you walk by it like says hi to you, you know, in addition to like doing all the things.
I'm putting Japanese toilets in my new house.
Well, you have to put a TUSHY aura. Excuse me.
Let's talk about it. Fine. Sorry, I'll take it back.
We have the nicer, no, we have the competing.
You do?
Yes. It opens, it like when you walk by, it opens, it's warm seat, warm water, blow dries your butt. It's nicer, like a much nicer remote than Toto.
We haven't ordered them yet, so we're going to talk.
Get Aura by TUSHY.
Got
it's the
you.
nicest one. You have to.
Got it. Done.
Yes.
Done.
Great.
Amazing. Consider it done.
Great. We just launched our bidet seats.
Amazing.
For the first time.
Okay, there you go.
And we've already 6x'd our projections. Like people are obsessed with our seats. Yeah. And so we're competing. We're going head to head against my people in Japan, but like we're American made. Like, come on.
Yeah, there we go.
You know? So yeah, we it's super exciting moment. But the inception story was when I was building THINX, it was like 100-hour weeks. It was so intense. Like we were on a real rocket ship. It was such a crazy moment. And I had developed an intense hyperthyroid condition because I was just pushing my body past its limits every single day. Like it was intense. Like I was pooping, like a side effect of hyperthyroidism is pooping, like I was pooping up to 8 times per day.
Wow.
I got down to 90 pounds. It was like really scary. And it was just, my body was just in overdrive. And the doctor was like, you have to take your thyroid out, do radioactive iodine therapy, and take 4 pills a day for the rest of your life. And I was like, no, not going to do that. I'm going to go the functional medicine route. Dr. Mark Hyman, my doctor, one of my best friends. And so he really helped me get on a vitamin protocol. I did a full detox, protocol. I started seeing a coach to purge all my internal emotions. I started doing body work. I do still today 3 to 5 hours every week of body work.
Good.
And I started that practice like back in 2013 when all this went down, 2014. And it was like I had to really relearn how to like serve my nervous system as a primary, thing. And that led me on such a journey of like self-discovery, and so much of that because it was so scary. Like my heart palpitations was also one of the side effects. And it was like every night my twin sister would be sobbing. She's like, I hope you wake up tomorrow. Like it was like that scary. It was like, boom, boom. It was so terrifying. Like it was for 2 years. I've completely healed myself.
For 2 years you experienced this?
For 2 years. It was so scary. And then, I've been since 2016, it's been totally, it's gone out of I've healed myself 100%. I got pregnant as soon as I decided, like the second month trying, like it was just when I was healed, Mark was like, you're done. You're totally like, it's gone out of your system. And then we started trying in the second month, got pregnant. It was amazing.
That's such a blessing.
Yeah. But, so part of the thing that happened was my husband, he got me a bidet for Valentine's Day.
Because you were pooping
Because I
so
was pooping
much.
so
Yeah.
much, and I had to jump in the shower because I was so like raw. It was so It was so hard, and then the bidet changed my life. It like completely restored my dignity in so many ways,
Yeah.
and I just was like, "This is crazy that every household in America does not have one of these." Like, I can't even believe it. How truly game changing it is. Not even just having an ailment, just for cleanliness.
Yes.
Like it's like you clean everything in your life with water, but the only part of your body, the dirtiest part of your body, you're smearing dry paper.
I think you said that
sitting
in some public like platform or interview or something else. I was like, she's so fucking right. We wipe our asses with dry paper every day.
and you sit on that and you're just smearing shit. It's just like,
It's really crazy.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's actually clinical.
Yeah.
You know, like it's when you really think about it. It's like, wait, how have we been so deeply indoctrinated? Which is one of the reasons why I wrote my book, Disruptor, is because of the fact that we are so deeply indoctrinated by so many things, including wiping our butts with trees. The thing that creates human life, like beyond our periods, trees. Literally this like hundreds of millions of year technology that's like takes in carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, all these toxins in the air, converts it to oxygen as a technology for us, for our breath. And then we chop them down and wipe our butts with them. When you really think about it,
When you say it like that,
it's just like the level of disrespect. It's just like, it's just like, wow. Like nature's like, I'm still giving you, I'm still serving. I'm still serving. One day I'm going to fucking eat all of you alive.
Yeah.
And you're going to all be dead, because that's what's happening. It's not going to be nature like going away. We're going to be dead. Like, we're going extinct, you know, unless we solve something together in community, in symbiosis, holding hands and like in full harmony. We're so short-sighted, you know, and it's not us. It's the conditioning. It's the system. It's the cloak. It's why we wipe our butts. It's the same, just the veil that we just need to lift. But anyways, and so from that, you know, TUSHY was born, because I just was like, I need to bring the best in class, most beautiful, most game-changing bidet that's easily attachable to your toilet, that turns any toilet into a bidet in less than 10 minutes, that takes no plumbing or electrical required, can turn a rental into a bidet, like all the differences. And then I thought about like all the types of people. It's like those who obviously have GI issues, people have chronic UTIs, hemorrhoids, fissures, itching, bacterial vaginosis. That's millions and millions and millions and millions of people in America alone, you know, not to mention those who have, you know, who have disabilities, those who are elderly, like the young kids, like my son. He's like, TUSHY time. And he's like, butt's clean. I don't have to wipe his butt. And it's pristine. It's like game changing, you know? And so like the moms, you're pre-pregnant, post-pregnant, you have hemorrhoids. You're like so trapped down there. The number of like pregnant moms who are like, you have changed my life, you know, is like the use cases. It's just, and then just anyone who is going on a date, you're welcome. You know what I mean? Like,
That's right.
Like, you're disgusting.
That's so
like,
true.
I keep telling my friend who owns Hinge, I'm like, you should put in your dating profile, bidet user or not bidet user. And I will filter.
TUSHY user or not TUSHY
user. Like, I will filter you out if you do not
So good.
use TUSHY. So yeah, so that was the inception story for TUSHY. And to date, we have helped save millions of trees, like over 10 million trees being flushed down the toilet. We have funded resoiling and reforestry projects all over South America. We've built out toilets for over 60,000 families in India. Like, we've really, like, there is like such a deep interweaving. And what was so unreal about TUSHY is that my father in India for a couple of years didn't have access to a clean toilet.
Wow.
And so, and he, as a 75-year-old man, still sometimes has nightmares, like looking for a toilet, clean toilet in India, like running, looking for a toilet to go to. And I didn't know that. And we have already helped 60,000 families in India gain access to clean toilets. And I found out that after we partnered and did the project, it was like this ancestral healing without even knowing it.
Unreal.
Like, I mean, like, you can't make that up. Like,
your work is just at another level. And I know that my listeners are hearing this and they're being called, I believe, to a higher order, to do something. And not everybody can start the companies that you've started. And we obviously want all the moms to go buy HIRO and get them in their homes. But if you were to give the girl listening who's feeling the pain in her heart, like, wow, this world, we take so much. How can I contribute, give back? How can I make an impact? What would you say to her?
Yeah, I mean, it comes with just like becoming aware of your everyday choices. Just awareness of like, what am I ingesting? What type of content am I taking on? Am I listening to the news? And it's just full of I haven't listened to the news in, I'm not kidding, 8 years. I haven't. I get my information from trusted sources. And when something needs to get to me, it'll get to me. Otherwise, I've never read the news. I have zero interest in like the clickbait negative dopamine hits that are
same.
It's so toxic. And I just don't. I don't watch any TV. I don't watch Netflix. I don't, and it's like, I would say to the girl is to like really say like, I'm as much as anyone that can really, really drive impact and drive change. Like, I don't have to witness another. I can, it's beautiful. I can support, collaborate with another, but I can also go and pack lunches and give them out to the homeless. Like with HIRO, my son, we got a few friends together and their kids, and we made sandwiches and made little lunch bags, and we went all over Austin and handed out little lunch bags to like the homeless people in Austin, so we can learn about just giving and like what does it look like to just be in service and just be like, these people live outside and like, and he was like, they do. And it's just like, they're still learning. Like, it's like, when I asked my son, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? He goes, a influencer. And I was like, use your tools. No, you don't, and I'm just like, and, cause that's what they're exposed to.
Yes.
It's like YouTuber, like I want to be a this or that. And like, only because, for me, like he's made over 300 inventions for me, or since he's he's 7, he delivers inventions to me every time before he gets to watch like a little thing, or, before he gets a treat or something, he has to make me an invention. And now it's 3 parts. It's an invention, a haiku, and a freestyle song that he has to just make up in real time in the moment. And then he gets a treat. And he's amazing. Yeah, I think it's just really taking action. It's easy to be like, I want to. I have all these ideas. Like I've written down all these things I want to do, but then they don't do it.
Yeah.
There's just so much talking and not doing. There's so much like, well, I got really busy with, well, this happened and then I couldn't, and this, and then this, and then that. And it's like, just put your shoes on and walk out the door. That is 80% of it. Once you do that, you're going to get to the gym. Mm-hmm. You're going to work out. Put your running shoes on and walk out that door. Just make that happen. And it's like getting out of the talking and into the putting your running shoes on and walking out the door. And I think, the sedentary world that we live in, this me generation, selfie, this I, me world,
yes,
is going to just become so empty.
Yes.
That and we're seeing it, the loneliness epidemic. 40% of Americans can't name one person to confide in America.
That's wild.
My twin sister started the Belong Center, which is so amazing. And it's like really bringing belonging. I sit on the board of the Belong Center. I'm so proud to really create, there's over 20 Belong Centers around the country. And, and she started Daybreaker, the early morning dance movement.
Oh my God. I'm a big advocate of the Daybreaker.
It's like the best party in the whole wide world.
Changed my life when I went for the first time. Like, it was like, what is this? It was so beautiful.
Yeah. And so, really just, it's effect like this me thing. And it's like, it's like, I can't do anything for the world. Like, it's too much. I'm too overwhelmed. It's just a sign of like, you don't want to take action, or maybe they are overwhelmed, and maybe there just needs someone to be like, it's not overwhelming if you just put your running shoes on and take one inspired action today. Just take one inspired action a day. One. By the end of a year, that's 365 inspired actions, even if they're small. Like, it's a big deal. It can make a big difference. And I think there is this like, this is too big. And that's why, like, when I think about storytelling, I think about the empathy telescope, which is the idea that you can tell the story of one, but you can't tell the story of many. Like, you can be like, Joey, from Zimbabwe. There's no Joey named in Zimbabwe, like, whatever. Joey from this place, is going through this experience versus like millions of children are starving. And you're like, I can't, too much. But you're like, but you can help Joey. You can help Joey. Like, and
so good.
And I think that there's like, we're learning like how to tell individual stories, like, really, really powerfully.
So exciting.
Yeah. And there's so many cool organizations that are coming online now that are really here to like serve the collective consciousness. My favorite from South by Southwest is this organization called Dollar Donation Club, started by my friend Seth. And it's basically this concept of, if you can create a collective super billionaire philanthropist where everyone just gives $1 a month. Imagine if you gave $1 a month, and you gave $1 a month, and you gave $1 a month, and I gave $1 a month, and everyone in the world gave just $1 a month. Everyone can do that. Together, you don't have to wait for Bill Gates. You don't have to wait for someone to like Jeff Bezos to hand out. You can have we are bigger than like a whale, like a school of fish, And so there's this like beautiful types of companies like that you're like, I can give $1 a month. Like, that is something that I can do. And it's the same thing where it's like, I can make a change. Like, I can put my baby in this diaper that's going to turn back into dirt. Like I know that when, HIRO diapers is simple. You drop a HIRO pouch in there, a pouch of mushroom. It's a little pouch that you drop into as you're changing the baby, a little pouch into the diaper. You close the diaper, you throw in the trash, and that's it. It's one extra inspired action. It's a little pouch you put in the diaper, you close it, you throw in the trash. And that your baby poop is going to fertilize that little pouch to grow and eat the diaper. And turn it into nature. Like, that's what we're creating.
You throw it in the trash, like the dumpster picks it up.
Yes,
puts it into the landfill.
When it goes to a landfill, it'll eat the diaper first, and the big vision, it's going to start eating all the plastics in landfills too after that. So it's like a generative innovation too. And so that's what we're creating at HIRO. We spent 4.5 years working with the top mycologists, microremediation experts, the biodegradation people, like PhDs, to really figure out. We looked at 1,000 strains of fungi, and we whittled it down to the top, several strains of fungi blend that can then work together to break down the plastic of the diaper. And so that's really what makes this diaper so special. The diaper itself is like unbleached cotton, unbleached wood pulp, amazing, but it also comes with these pouches that you just, with our little fungi, sleeping fungi in them, that you just drop in when you're changing the baby. It's just one inspired action. So it's kind of like all these things where it's like, I can make this one inspired action. I can make this one inspired action. I can give $1. I can put this pouch in the diaper. Like, I could do, like, these are like inspired actions that you can take that then make you, all of a sudden, you are a steward of change. Like,
yes, babe.
You
are the inspired action. This conversation was everything and more. No, really. I could talk to you for hours. But I want to have everyone, where can people go get involved? You have your big event coming up.
Yes.
Share that. And then where can people go learn all about HIRO?
For sure. And I want to also, I have like two of my best friends in the room here. And I do want to just have them share, because they're parents, they're, partners in the project and in HIRO. And it's like, it's always fun to get different perspectives of the why. And I want to bring them and just hear their why. But we are officially launching HIRO on April 2nd. So HIRO Diapers, HIRO, and it's pronounced HIRO, like hero, but it's HIROdiapers.com, launches on April 2nd. And on April 3rd, we're doing this global prayer to bring together all the indigenous leaders and Fortune 500 CEOs and leaders to come together with people, with anyone listening, anyone who wants to join, to witness what it could look like when nature, humanity, and innovation can come together in a deep collective prayer. And that is the inception point of a business.
We'll link it. Can we link it in the show notes for everyone to go register and join?
That would be amazing. And then we'll, if you go to HIRO, at HIRO, right now we're at HIRO Technologies, but it will be at HIRO Diapers on Instagram very soon as well.
Let's call up your friends.
Yes, let's bring up my friends. I'd love to maybe start with Renee.
Renee.
Well, hello.
We're going to meet besties now.
Queen.
And hello, Queen. Takes
Hi.
a queen to see a queen. So tell me why you have so wholeheartedly jumped in on this mission.
Really went on a journey of isolating myself these last couple years. And for me, as you know, my role at HIRO Technologies is the HIRO Village Architect. So I have a really big dream of being able to hold all of the women, all of the mothers, all of their children who feel overwhelmed and who feel this hesitancy to go out and seek knowledge, because right now there's so much out there.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
It's so overwhelming. And sometimes people don't know where to begin. We don't know where the trusted resources are. And so that's my excitement and my joie de vivre coming into this mission. And like, I have found my home. I have found my vocation here at HIRO. And I'm so excited to build community that is infused with such passion and curiosity and shameless exploration, where I am not like, I don't know everything. And I never will know everything. But I know that I have this undeniable love for my family, my children, this planet. And when my son and my daughter say something like, I love being outside. Mama, I know your favorite place to be with us is in nature. I'm just like, okay, how do I take me living my life authentically? And how do I share that and become a trusted resource while going to my farmers markets and having these conversations with, you know, the mushroom farmers? And how do I go and learn about the Global Plastic Treaty? And how do I meet all of these people? Because God, I love to have conversations and I'm such a people person. So how do I learn how to share and own my gifts and make it less intimidating? And so that I can just call in mothers and women and families who want to make an impact but don't know where to begin, and where I can establish a community of safety and belonging and just rich love of our planet and our families, and know that we're all in this together and all hands on deck. And we're all here to make a difference together, and it's better together. What I'm really excited about is I'm new to Nashville.
So am I.
Yes.
We're going to co-create, babe.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so I'm really excited to just get out there and start speaking and engaging with women. And I'm starting to collect numbers and addresses so I can get these diapers in the hands of mothers so they can feel for themselves just what is finally here, what we've all been asking and waiting for is just inspired, non-toxic products for our babies. And so I'm also wanting to create events and activities.
I got you on that front.
It's like we're all looking for moms who align in love of nature and love of families to come together and have play dates. And so I'm creating and building this HIRO village, because it takes a village, right? To love, to play, to learn, and to go out and serve. So I'm also going out and I'm going to start meeting with all of the already established organizations here. Like there's zero waste programs and there are advocacy programs out there where we can go out and volunteer and we can become a resource for this person and anyone else who's listening. So I will be building on a WhatsApp group where we share just wisdom and encouragement and support and a loving feminine arm, like arms to just go and collapse into when life can get overwhelming sometimes. And so I'm just calling in all of the mamas, send me your number, send me your address.
Heard her first.
So you can just receive my love, my heart, our products, and be a part of this mission.
So received, so felt.
Yeah.
So good to have you.
I received that from you. Thank you so much. And I'm excited to be here.
Too. Yeah. This was meant to be.
Yeah, it was.
You actually were complimented by your friends, your wife, and earlier we were talking about divine masculine, divine feminine, that those terms get thrown around a lot. And yet I'm here for them. I believe in them. And I have this theory that women in their divine masculine who activate that will help to lead a new earth. And men who are able to tap into their divine feminine will help to heal this earth.
Yeah.
And so when they said that about you, I loved you the second you walked into my house and told me that I might recognize you from porn. But like,
Glad we put that out
I'm
there.
really, I was like, you won me over the front door, but attract, because I felt that in your energy.
Yeah.
And clearly you have that code, because you wouldn't be here, I think, with Miki on this mission.
You know, Miki's really inspiring. We met at an airport, in Heathrow Airport, probably, I don't know, over a decade ago. And we both had a layover, and we just like saw each other and just started talking. We just had like the best conversation. And I remember she gave me her card for her restaurant, Wild. And it's something I kept in my backpack for years. And I never went to this restaurant, but I was like, I'm going to go. I'm going to be in touch with this woman in some way. And then my wife, Renee, and we went to Kripalu, which is like a beautiful retreat, yoga, spirituality. And yeah, the Agrawal sisters were all there having their yearly Agrawal trip. And then we were in this yoga dance class, and we all just kind of got together. And then we were at this silent breakfast. Renee and I got our trays, and then I hear, "Hey, you!" Look over, and I was like, "Wait." She's like, "Hey, you!" I was like, so I went over to the table, and she's like, "Remember?" I was like, "I know who you are. Okay, I remember. Yes." No, shut up. No, let's go talk. We just had so much fun, and we just connected, and like from that moment we were just all like family. It was like such an amazing alignment. But the fact that it happened like years before that her and I, had that.
That was meant to be.
Yeah.
It was divine timelines intersecting.
But just for me, I am not an entrepreneur, but I guess like we were talking about earlier, like I am in a way, because I'm selling myself as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go out there and be my own business, be my own publicist, be my own everything, to kind of like figure out my branding and all this stuff. But just to be in the orbit of someone like Miki, I'm just so inspired by what she does, by what she does it for. It's not for personal gain of like, oh, look what I created and stuff. It's look what I created and look how it's changing the world.
I feel that.
It's just, it's so powerful. And yeah, I love being around her, because I just learn so much. It's just really exciting to be in her orbit.
I bet.
Yeah.
I want to know, as a father, and as a friend, but also I consider you a light worker. What is your vision for HIRO?
Again, I have this big mission. I really am scared for our planet.
Same.
It's a really scary time, and just seeing it all. I think like we were kind of naive to it all for a long time, but now that you can see it all. And I just learned this fact from Miki that, all of our landfills, when they get too full, we take all that trash and we send it to some third world country so that we don't have to see it.
Fucking crazy.
It's wild, the stuff that they're doing to like try to hide the problems. And that just makes me like just sad. It activates the activism within me. Renee and I did this thing for the launch of TUSHY, where we did a funeral for a tree. And it was like a beautiful launch of that. And we kind of like orated the whole ceremony. And likewise now, like this new technology, it's deeply personal to me. I mean, I do have an asshole, so I do poop. But but having two children I've seen it firsthand. We tried to do the cloth diaper route. It was just messy and it's so wasteful, energy, water.
Yeah.
And so expensive. And so when we tried the natural diapers, and they just didn't perform well at all, just messy and, stuff coming out the sides. And so we kind of had to to go with, you know, a mainstream diaper because it performed well. It just did the job. And then you just kind of try not to think about where it goes. And to now hear the facts of those diapers being still there. Every single diaper that's ever touched a baby's butt is still in a landfill today.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, how do we get on this train? And I am just like blown away that someone can think of something like this to make into a product that is going to change the world. And I'm really excited to be on board with it.
It takes a village.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Thank you for sharing all of that.
Thank you.
It's such a gift to have you guys here. All right, sister. I have just a few final quick fire questions for you. Do you have a favorite spiritual book?
I'm reading a book right now called Courting the Wild Twin by Martin Shaw.
Okay.
It needs to be read by everyone.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll make a note. Link that as well.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite spiritual teacher?
I am working with a couple of spiritual teachers right now, but my favorite spiritual teacher is Sadhvi Ji from the Paramahansa Ashram in India. She is this badass woman who has given her entire life to serving the world, and you know, has been living in India, the banks of the Ganges River, since the age 25, and she just had a calling to go there. She was at Stanford, and she's this Jewish woman, but she literally is like the most high in command spiritual teacher, working with Pujya Swamiji, who's like the spiritual teacher of one of the biggest, most prominent ashrams in India, and she's like the one giving. She's like the feminine voice that's giving the sermons, and it's so amazing for Indians to see that too, a woman empowered, and she's incredible.
Of course, she's your favorite.
Yeah.
So reflective of you. Do you work with like an angel or a goddess or a favorite deity or archetype of any kind?
Yes, Kuan Yin, Goddess
I
Kuan
love
Yin.
Kuan Yin.
She's on my altar, and I pray to her, and you know, almost every day, and I'm just sitting on the altar, and just the goddess of creation and fertility, and just impregnating the world with ideas and love and life and the feminine essence. And so she is my goddess.
Tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks too.
And trees.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to tell you my tree story when we're done.
Yeah.
Do you believe in aliens? Yes or no? I think I know the answer.
course.
Right. Everybody. I write about Pleiadians in my new book, and I walk through the world as a Pleiadian. So my audience knows that.
Okay.
So
What's a Pleiadian?
Pleiadian is an extraterrestrial star family from the Milky Way galaxy. Pleiades is a constellation,
Cool.
444 light years away. They were the original bringers of light on this planet. They're world creators.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. They're here to
Beautiful.
really help humanity remember their sovereignty and their
love
limitless
that.
potential.
Beautiful.
And that it's supposed to be fun, the human experience.
Amazing.
Yeah. So full stop Pleiadian. But
Great.
great to know that you believe in us, to believe in them.
Yes.
Final question for you. And I asked it before, but I reflected it before, but I want to ask it one last time. What does it mean to you, Miki, to be a co-creator of the new Earth Rising?
I mean, we're just stewards. We're just a steward and just kind of playing the apprentice role to the universe, God consciousness. I think it's really like, as soon as we take the reins and try to muscle our way into control, it just creates the most amount of suffering. And so when we realize that, like, let life lead and let the universe lead, let the God consciousness, nature consciousness lead, and we're just here to apprentice, to steward, to sous chef, that it actually creates so much joy and so much pleasure and so much abundant pool of energy. And I'm really apprenticing myself to like tapping into that kind of unlimited source of energy just from sitting in nature, just sitting really, and communing and just being in like this receiving mode. And it's a very difficult and different thing when you're used to doing it one way, and just like I've had success, built 2 9-figure businesses on the horse, sword in hand. And this is it's a different way, and
It's a different time.
Yeah, it's a different time. And yeah, exactly. I think the time, it's like the right way for the right time.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah,
Hiro is here.
let's go.
I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so in awe of you. And I'm honored to help this mission. Where can people find you, Miki, on social, and how can people We're going to leave the link to HIRO Technologies.
Yeah,
we're
HIRO
going to leave,
diapers.
and we're going to leave a link to the event.
Yes.
Anywhere
Global
else?
Prayer, April 3rd, 2 p.m. Central. Mark your calendars.
Done and done.
Yeah. And my personal, just Instagram at Miki Agrawal, just first name, last name. Yeah.
Wonderful to finally put a real face.
Yeah.
To a really
same.
beautiful
Let's
name.
be friends.
We are friends.
Okay.
It's amazing.
It
was so good.